So what has changed about Ram since we last saw? Or have there been any changes?
Ram is definitely holding the course. Well, she always feels worried about Helena. She's always anxious about what Helena's going to do because she doesn't know what Helena's going to do. But ever since getting injured by the harpoon and we had to take sabbatical on the robot planet, she's felt a little more confident. She would never admit it, but she's feeling a little more confident in Helena, in the crew. This problem is very large that they are facing, but there's this horrible sliver of optimism that she doesn't want to acknowledge because that's not smart. That's not logical. Not in this line of work. She's been in this line of work too long. And kind of that familiarity of living in the ship with the crew, with the same people every day, and there's banter, and she was alone on that, desert planet, just farming alone for a long time, kind of self-imposed exile, and she's kind of begrudgingly annoyed and enjoying their time on the ship.
Yeah, the ship is becoming a little bit more like a home, especially because there are parts of the ship that are definitely a little bit more geared towards someone of your biology, including the place where you can stick your feet in the dirt, and Helena does her best to make sure you got good dirt in there, but I think at this point things have been escalating. The enemy's been on the move. We're still making good progress and getting ready for when we go in for that final battle, but we still have work to do.
And I feel like we've had a stretch of success. Like we've been staying ahead of them. Our plans are working. Our supply grabs are working. We haven't had a real bad setback in a while.
Yeah, Daxton's upgrade was a complete success, and since then they've been a little bit more confident and hopeful. And I think Helena, her sort of haunted air has gone away. She is getting more confident as well. Not cocky or arrogant as she might have occasionally been in the past. She will occasionally play that part around certain individuals. But back on the ship, you see that she's believing that we can do this. And I think after going to that planet and she left all the information that's been gathered about the enemy as well as information on the original crew, she feels a little bit more settled. Those people who she willingly or not sacrificed aren't going to be forgotten. She's starting to make up for things, but you can tell she's also starting to get a little antsy. I think she might have started picking up some weird little captain superstitions, like knocking on a door and just odd little things that are supposed to bring luck and fortune and safety. Mm-hmm. She hasn't really done that a lot before. She would do it sometimes to act in the part, but I think you specifically would know that she is trying to do everything she can, as ridiculous as it looks, to make sure everyone on this ship survives. To make sure this works.
I mean, Ram's always trying to do her best at any job she's doing, but I think she's trying to be more present for Helena, which is why she agrees to go on what should be a short mission. Daxton could have done this alone. She does agree, just so that you'll feel better.
Yeah, Daxton can take care of himself, but buddy system is really important when the enemy is kind of slowly starting to become literally everywhere.
I think Ram actually says that, Daxton's packing up to go, and is like, no, we are doing buddy system. I say that where you can hear it.
We're starting a little bit before stage 1, or do we just want to jump into stage 1 and kind of maybe flash back to the conversation?
Oh, that works. Okay. Let's say Daxton and Ram successfully completed their little side mission and come back. And I think you're going over the data we got.
I'm reviewing data, double, triple checking things, like figuring it into the information we already have. I feel like we have plan A figured out, but I'm working on a B and a C, and like I'm working on different iterations and backup plans and contingencies. Because I do not want to be once again caught in the middle of the alien hive mind and realizing, oh, this isn't gonna do what it's supposed to do.
Stage 1, step 1 is what task am I interrupting, and I think that's...
As I look up from the data and I look at you, what do I see that immediately makes me realize, oh boy, my plant person has anxiety?
Probably the fact that you don't know how long I've been standing there. Usually, I would just walk in and interrupt you and ask, and that's also a change over the years of me knowing you. But I've just been very much just standing, waiting.
Yeah, I think like after you've been standing there for 15 minutes and like it finally clicks in my brain that yes, you are standing there and that is Ram standing there and it's like you're waiting for me to say something. Is everything alright? Or are you just going to stand there staring at me? Is it time for my punch to the face?
Captain, no. This is not time for a punch to face. And she's kind of twisting her hands together, which is also not typical. Okay, cut this out, but do we still need to draw a card to see what it was, or since we've already decided?
Well, let's draw just to see if that'll inform some things. So it's 9 of clubs. So with a 9, I know I can't do this without you, and I tell you how I feel about that. And for clubs, a mission focused on violence, passion, or rediscovering my fire. So what does Ram say?
Ram stands there for a moment and says, Captain, I need your help. This is what I think would be called a big ask. And I know we are in the middle of conflict and we do not have much time. But I reach into my utility battle fanny pack and I pull out a bundle wrapped in this like very delicate gossamer fabric that you've not seen. Like, it's not something I would wear. It's not something I would decorate with. It doesn't look familiar. And I very carefully unwrap it. And for a second, you would think, oh, it's just like a pile of leaves like that. And then, no, you've seen leaves like this before. You've seen them when Ram's hair was long. It's her natural vines that she grows. But these are covered in flowers of all different pastel colors, and they're kind of shimmery. And she's just holding this bundle. I need to return to my home planet.
Helena's just kind of looking between the little flowery bundles and you and back, and I don't know if she fully understands the significance. I'm pretty sure you didn't really tell her about any of this part of your world. I know she's asked you questions about your home.
She realizes that. She sees the confusion and is just like, oh, these are not mine. I did not make these. Oh, I wrap them back up and I put them very gently on the like table between us, the console. And she's like, we, Karazu, on our home planet, we reach a certain age, we reach a certain level of maturity, we begin to produce flowers. These flowers, if pollinated by the natural breeze on our planet, turn into gourds. We plant them in the sacred fields. They turn into the next generation. Children. Babies.
Helena nods as you're talking, and when you get to that part, that's where you see, like, it clicks. She's like, oh, And you said these aren't yours.
No, no. And I think we smash cut to a very beautiful and pristine, kind of white and blue marble atrium on a different spaceship in a different system earlier in the day. And a very snappily dressed bureaucrat walks in and is like, I don't have much time, but I always have time for Helena's old friends. You know, may her memory bless us all. What can I help you with? And they begin briskly talking with Daxton about, Ram's not even sure what they're actually talking about. Something about numbers, something about satellite system access, classified systems. It's all, tech gibberish to Ram. But then Ram looks across as the bureaucrat's bodyguard enters the room, and for a moment we see two women staring at each other. They are both Katazu plant warrior women. They look almost identical, except for their body spiraling tattoos kind of half carved into them. The other woman is dressed much nicer. Her uniform is very pristine, and it matches the room, and it matches the bureaucrat.
Very stylized. It almost looks like it's made just for show, but it is actually very protective, because our very high-level bureaucrat space princess friend has enough money to make it look fancy and be able to withstand a ship crash.
This other person, where Ram had shorn their plant hair and it's very short and the leaves are small, the other woman's wearing like a very elegant, pretty head wrap scarf. And Ram's in that same patched jumpsuit with the mismatched armor.
There's some new pieces.
It works fine, but they're just kind of regarding each other. And Ram just quietly goes, Mar.
It is good to see you, sister.
It is good to see you, sister. I look around. Clearly, this person we're dealing with is very important.
This room does not feel like it's on a spaceship.
No. And I'm in our language, quietly. I'm just like, you have found a very good position.
I have been blessed in this. And what of you?
The tiniest beat of hesitation. And Ram says, it is good work. It is not glamorous, but it's good work.
But the most honorable of work is typically the least glamorous. I'm proud of you, sister.
And you have made us all proud.
Yeah, so I picture Mar and Ram kind of like pull off to the side a little bit, because let's be real, the ship has enough security. If Daxton tries anything, they're dead within like 30 seconds. Maybe if they're lucky they live that long.
Yes. Honestly, also having a plant warrior woman is a bit of a status symbol. They probably don't think of it that way, but other people are like, if you can afford to have someone that powerful who sticks beside you and finds you worthy, it's kind of a big deal. So just being their presence is like, yeah, this person's a big deal. You're not going to mess with them. But we're in the ship. Like, we're in a closed system. So I think, yes, we're a little off to the side.
Mar wants to talk to you.
Yes!
It's been years. She wants to see how you're doing and just catch up. And I think she probably shares some of the diplomatic things that she has taken part of, and this might be when you realize that I don't know if we're here necessarily to collect data on the enemy. I think the two of you were actually sent to help with evacuation efforts.
Yes.
I don't know if you would have registered this, but Helena and Daxton might have found a way to not cure, but at least like inoculate humans from enemy control.
Yes, so it's very much Daxton and the Space Princess. They've got like data pads out. They are talking shop. They are talking numbers and evacuation strategies, and there's a lot they're in their own bubble. They're doing their own thing.
It's not even data pads. The data is like appearing and they can like move it around on the floor, on the wall. Daxton is having an absolute blast with this.
And Ram and Mar catching up, and I'm sure Mar talks about, thwarting some political assassinations and, protecting from terrorist attacks. Like, no big deal. Just the usual. And Ram's like, wow, impressive. And internally is like, oh, my entire crew got destroyed.
What have you been doing, sister? Curious, what adventures have you gone on? What have you seen?
I have seen much. I have seen much of the galaxy. I have worked for members of a very important family. Currently protecting a young member of the family. The work is very important. The work is very classified. But we are able to travel to do the work, and it is good. Ram is so vague about what she's been up to.
Yeah, I think Mar is just nodding along, thinking like you are probably in a similar position to her.
Yes, like,
because there's also a lot of like classified things that she can't talk about. So on your ship, are you are able to travel freely and quickly, or are you confined to certain areas and certain routes?
I kind of make a slight facial gesture towards Daxton, who is clearly, an android. And I'm like, we have special systems. We do not need to worry about jurisdictions or being seen coming and going. Like I said, it's lots of classified work.
And you are fighting against this threat. The one that is taking over and threatening her world. Points to Space Princess, who is having a very animated conversation with Daxton.
Yes.
It's very, very important work.
Yes, I wish I could tell you more, but we are doing our best.
Once the work is done and we both return home, I look forward to hearing all of the stories you cannot say. Speaking of returning home, I know you're very busy, and I would not ask you this if it was not important, but she pulls the headdress back just enough to show you the flowering. Pristine, perfect, beautiful pastel color. She's been flowering for a while, and it's getting to the point where, like, I kind of need to do that soon.
Yeah.
And she puts it back. I am limited in the places that I can go. I must protect my charge, and her work becomes more dangerous.
And usually just unflappable Ram, just very serious. She just blinks for a second, is like, ah! And like grabs her sister's shoulders. Like, this is good thing. And then like quickly lets go. Yes, this must be done. They must be returned. This only happens once. Of course, yes.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. I will owe you very, very much. And gives you a big hug.
And we hug, and it's nice. And
flashback to the conversation as Helena's just like, well, your homeworld is not currently in the path of the enemy. It's a little out of our way, but you say this must be done soon?
Yes, the flowers must be returned to our habitat. They can only be pollinated on our home planet. It is why we protect our planet so dearly. It is much farther than... It's very far out of the way, I am aware. There is the asteroid field. I understand if we do not have time, but it would mean a lot to me and my family if we could return these.
Helena thinks for a second, tapping and swiping and doing something on her data pad, for just long enough to make you nervous, though that is not her intention. She says, well, it might do us some good to disappear for a while. Have some new data to process, information to gather, and I don't want to run the risk of certain organizations finding out about our activities, so we can do this.
Thank you, Captain.
You don't ask for much.
Ram already has to leave
Of
because
course.
Ram's getting emotional, and that's unacceptable. So she has to leave.
Yeah, Ram all but sprints out of the room, and Helena's just like, okay, good thing Dexton was looking for practice flying around asteroids. This'll be fun.
Yes. So,
as we prepare for the mission, you're distracted. You choose the bold, and I ask the question.
This was the last thing that Ram was expecting to happen. This is so wild. It's kind of the thrill of like, wow, I got to see my sister. She's doing really well. Wow, my sister's doing really well. Whereas maybe Ram is not in as a prestigious position. And then it's the excitement of, wow, that's so great that happened for my sister. And these could be my future, my nieces. But we have to get them home. We have to get them to the planet. Oh no. Like, that's such a trip. So she's trying to stay busy. No, it's either we spend time together and become closer. I think that's it, because I think she feels very protective of the flowers. So she has them like in her greenhouse area, and she like keeps checking the light levels, and she's checking the pH of the water, and she's making sure they're not turning yellow, they're not wilting. And there's not really anything she can do for them. Like, it really is just get them to the planet.
Helena is attempting to just kind of like keep you from anxiety spiraling too hard. She's like, why don't we go for a walk? Let's do a walk around the ship, okay? You have not left this room in 3 days. Let's do a walk around the ship. I'm going to do a walk, and you should come with me to keep you safe.
Yes, I will keep you safe. Yes, let's walk. Yes. And I think just with her anxiety, she starts talking about Mar. And again, it's probably more than Helena's heard in a long time, that they came out of the same pod, and their sibling group had like 6 people in it. And they were, that was their little sister gang, but they were really close. But Mar was such a big sister, like so annoying, and like was always getting Ram in trouble and was always running off. Mar was really the one getting Ram in trouble. Ram was not the one who was gonna go off.
Yeah, so Mar was the troublemaker. Ram was considered the good one who is supposed to go far. And now... Whew.
She's on a claptrap ship taking care of a little mafia daughter. And she starts seeing a lot of Helena in Mar, or how Mar used to be. And then the story just kind of meanders to Ram reaching adulthood and being really proud of that, and setting out on her own and going the opposite side of the galaxy from where Mar was going. Mar was kind of upset about that. Like, their plan had been, Mar had suggested they go together, and Ram was like, no, I'm setting off alone. But that did leave Ram. She kind of landed on a crime planet and didn't realize it, and started low-grade bodyguard work.
By the time she realized what kind of organization she was working for, she was already reporting to Jasper Vale.
Yes, she was working for the Jasper Vale before she even realized what all of his business entailed, because she did not know. They don't really have crime the way they do in the rest on some planets on Ram and Mars planet. It's more like social wrongs, and everything can be righted. They don't really have money.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, you understand, like, conceptually that crime is a thing that exists. You didn't recognize it when it was happening in front of you until you were very much involved, and then you got sent to guard Helena.
And, you get told, this person stole from me. Go teach them a lesson and kick them a bit. And it's like, well, clearly they stole from you. That's wrong. And that's wrong on their part. Before putting two and two together, maybe that's not what actually happened. And eventually, being given the task of guarding Helena, that was really when Ram was like, okay, this is the job. I have to keep this teen girl safe. I've watched her grow up. I can't let her get into all of this trouble. I have to keep her alive and maybe steer her kind of away from her father's influence a bit. And she did that. And she did that for a long time and has definitely kept Helena alive in some wild situations.
Anytime Ram starts talking in a way that sounds like she is putting herself down in comparison to Mar, Helena's just like, do you remember that one time? Just reminding her of all of the crazy things that we've done that you saved me from, all the times you kept me alive, all the times that you protected other people, the times that you did good things and you helped people.
And it's really good for Ram to hear that because she had been sitting with their failure to save the last crew for so long that it's good for her to hear that there was so much success and that Helena's definitely alive because of Ram.
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have survived that one fight we got into around, was it my 18th or my 19th birthday? Somewhere around there. I would not have survived that if you hadn't been.
No, you would not.
Yes, 18.
And I told you not to go. But you went anyway, and I'm glad I followed you. You kept trying to sneak out until you were 21.
Well, I mean, you saw the place. You understand.
I do.
Oh, do you remember that one time someone tried to kidnap us and we just kind of played along?
That was so funny. They actually thought that they're...
The look on his boss's face.
When I just snapped the manacles on my hands.
Oh, that was hilarious.
That was so funny. And we reminisce.
I'm trying to, gas you up a little bit. Build up your confidence. Have you told me you cannot set foot on the planet, though?
Because it's one of those things where it's like, that's home. That is absolutely home. She has nothing but love for her home planet. No other planet ever would compare. And I think it's so beautiful. I'm very excited for you to see it. You saw it in the books, but to see it in person, it's been so long. And everything she's saying is really positive about how beautiful it is and how tall the grandmother trees are and all the spiral fields out in the countryside and their cities. And the women they do a lot of choral singing, like group singing. So they have very famous choir groups, and they do a lot of, they don't kill each other, but there's a lot of very dramatic fighting. I don't want to say professional wrestling style fighting, but they have a lot of gladiatorial fights.
Yeah, they're warrior plant people. They do all kinds of fights, but nothing that they don't know how to heal you from.
Yeah, they do a lot of fights. They do a lot of hunting. She's just like, oh, the big game is so fun. And she's just saying words of animals that you have never heard before, so you don't have any kind of context. It sounds beautiful. It sounds fun.
Yeah. I think Helena does clock some of how you're saying it, but she is of the mindset of, if there's something I need to know, Ram will tell me. So for our preparation, I don't think anyone is coming along with us.
No. And that is something interesting, because I feel like Johan does not want to go. Johan's like, my allergies, and just does not want to go. And Daxton kind of perks up and was like, well, I'd love to go. And Ram's just like, no, you stay with ship, you stay with Johan, buddy system, you stay. But you notice it's a little aggressive, like you're going to stay.
I don't know how the kudzu would react to an android. I think it would freak them out. I think it took a while for Daxton to quit weirding you out, but at that point you'd seen enough strangeness that it didn't weird you out anymore.
All of their technology is biological. They have radio stations, they have short-range, like, seed ships that they use to get to planets that have more powerful ships. But they don't really need a lot of tech. Made in a factory. What is a factory? Did you not come out of the ground? And Daxton's like, technically, I did.
Any weapons or equipment? I think I'm not expecting to be attacked, and I'm pretty sure if I do get attacked, I'm not going to win whatever I'm armed with.
Yeah, you start getting ready, kind of like the usual preparations, and then you realize Ram is checking every weapon she's got, checking all of her armor, making sure she's, like, kitted out.
Helena just kind of goes based off of Ram and might strap on a couple extra guns, like put on her nicer flight suit jacket, and just trying to play the part a little bit, following your lead. He's also realizing that, like, it's might actually be somewhat insulting to come onto this unfamiliar planet unarmed. Like, I don't see them as a threat.
You're like, oh, maybe it's a cultural thing.
What do we see as our shuttle approaches?
The first issue is, when Helena said it's not that far, Helena was definitely underselling. It is far, and it's in a very kind of finicky stretch of space. There's a lot of asteroids, and they're not dangerous, but you really need a good navigator to get through them and to find the planet. Because it's like, well, it should be here, but just the massive amount of asteroids make it very difficult to just locate and safely reach. That you can kind of see why some evil mad scientists might have put their base here, just because it's very far-flung and it would take a lot of effort to get to unless you really, really wanted to get there.
My thought was the Kudzu contributed a lot to that asteroid field.
We did. As soon as we realized what rockets were.
We don't need this moon.
No. What do we need that moon for? Now we have lots of little moons. And we kind of breach the asteroid field, and it's a very kind of cheerful, familiar yellow sun, and the planet is green. It's very, very green. Just like almost fluorescent in a vibrant way, and just surrounded by asteroids. And we kind of begin our descent to land, and Daxton starts getting just wild readings from the atmosphere, just of the composition of it.
This distracts Daxton for the rest of the trip.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Johann has sealed off in his room, and he's still sneezing.
Yes, he's still sneezing. And Ram gets very quiet when we see it. And as we enter the atmosphere and just the colors of all of the gases wash over the ship, she's still just quiet. But then she looks over to you and is like, you might need a respirator. I did not think about that.
Good to know, as I look at the atmospheric mix, and I'm like, okay, 1 second. I go to grab one that I will be able to key to correctly balance for this.
Yeah, Daxton pulls a sample for you so you can key in the right code so you can breathe. And it's like skull, 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 poison.
Johann, please put on your respirator and keep it on until we leave the ship, please. Distant sneeze. We'll just have to be very careful to cycle the air filters. It's fine.
And the ship is just rocked by the atmosphere, and eventually, after just being thrown around by it, we break it, and it's full of storm over the land, and then we break into the clear sky, and it's just forest. It's so much forest, and just massive trees of all different shapes and types, and Ram kind of has to point Daxton where to land. There's a lot of vines and a lot of like really strange floral shapes, and there's weirdly colored creatures just flapping by.
Minor alteration, given how difficult it's going to be to find a place to land, do we maybe just like take a shuttle off of the ship?
Oh, that's smart. Yes, we'll do that.
Yeah, so the ship is hanging out outside.
Yes, it's breached the storms and it's just kind of hanging out. And we will take the shuttle which Helena has to drive, and we will find somewhere to land.
What if there's a sort of trial that we have to go through to get to the grounds to plant the plants?
I'm starting to think they shoot down every ship that tries to land. I think they don't let anyone in. The massive amount of chemicals in the air scramble any of our outgoing signals. We can't let them know we're coming, and we can't see where are the actual cities, where is there anywhere to land. And Ram's like, yes, that is what yes, there's not going, we have to land first, and then we find out where we are, and then we find people.
Fascinating. Helena is enjoying this, but she is white-knuckling the steering wheel just a little bit.
Just a little. And I think we land, and it's immediately, there's so many noises coming from the forest, from the jungle, just strange screechings and cawings, and large noises very far off. And the door opens, and that very thick, humid air comes in, and we are on Karazu, the home planet.
This place is beautiful, and now so much about you makes so much more sense.
And about 2 yards away, a wasp, like the size of a football, just very casually buzzes by. It's got a stinger that's like a foot long, and it just buzzes by, and Ram's like, oh, I'm home. And she steps off the gangplank and immediately is in bodyguard mode, immediately is at 100. And it's like, all right, Helena, you listen to me. We are going straight this direction. You see these types of trees? They can only grow if we are facing this direction, asteroids. It makes sense. So if we follow this line, it will lead us, hopefully, to a settlement. And then we can deliver the flowers. But you stick close to me.
Lead the way. You realize I have grabbed onto the back of your shirt because that wasp freaked me out.
Yes. Then we begin our trek, and I'm almost imagining...
We draw cards and get to it, but if you would like to do more scene setting.
Oh, it was just like us crossing a fallen tree trunk that's huge, and weird water bugs snap out of the water and snip at us and bite at us, and Ram has to fight them back. And it's literally everything tries to attack us.
So we're in Space Australia. Got it.
Yes. We are in Jumanji Space Australia. Every single thing is poisonous. Every flower has thorns. Some flowers spit thorns at us, and Ram just catches them in her shield and laughs. And Helena gets caught. A strangle vine tries to get you.
At some point, pretty early on, Helena does the thing that turns her cane into a sword, and then she, presses the handle between her hands and, shifts it, and, it's the handle splits in half, and it reformulates into 2 pretty long, daggers.
Yes.
She's ready to go. So let's do first pull, 2 diamonds, and a spade.
I don't think we get betrayed because there's nobody here, so that means one of us has to get hurt. I'll rewind a bit. For the first scene, that plant spits thorns at us, and Ram's laughing and begins saying some story about Mar using them as a weapon and blunting the thorns to shoot them at Ram and their other siblings, and it was very funny. And as she's telling the story, Helena doesn't notice it, but a vine comes up and snatches her ankle and is just dragging her over the ground towards this big fanged flower.
Helena just immediately jumps into protective mode, flipping the roles a little bit. Just immediately goes to protect Ram, to get the vine disconnected and give Ram time to, like, get up and keep the seeds safe. And Helena has no idea what she's doing up against this thing, so I think if you're cool with it, she gets hurt.
Oh, yeah.
A thorn gets shot and she just misses it, but it, like, slices the side of her neck or something.
Yes.
Actually, no, I'll say, like, her shoulder.
Her shoulder. Yes.
It gets a thorn in the shoulder, just, ow! But keeps fighting until Ram steps in.
Yes, and Helena was the one who sliced the vine that had Ram's ankle.
Yeah, just immediately stepped between Ram and danger.
Yeah. And Ram easily knows how to dispatch this kind of flower, just immediately slams a spear right into the middle of it, and it hisses and shakes and dies. And then Ram, looking very invigorated, and like, that was great, turns around, sees Helena kind of bleeding. It's like, sorry. And with more kind of agility than you would expect from her, quickly jumps between two trees, about a third of the way up one, and picks like this bright yellow flower and comes back peeling it apart, and it's got this bright gold sap in it, and she's like, here, and puts it on the wound.
Yeah, Helena is holding the thorn, because I mentioned there was a thorn that got stuck. She's just kind of waiting for Ram to tell her she can pull it out.
There we go. This will hurt. And just yanks it out.
Yep. I knew that was going to... Ouch. No wonder you're so tough and scrappy. How... I have more questions now, but... Ow.
This is home. I gesture back to the big dead Venus flytrap thing. I was like, those are very good barbecued. They are... we won't have time. It takes 3 days to cook them, but... it's very good once all of the toxins are burned out. Oh, it's so good. And I'm just telling you about our big barbecues, family barbecues we have as we keep going. And I think because the rest of our cards were successes, it is just this montage of danger and very large insects.
Well, it's everything goes exactly according to plan except for one thing, and then I leave behind something valuable and irreplaceable. What is it? We can get to those when we get to where we're going.
Yes, but we see way more giant wasps. There's very large gecko things, and Ram just seems delighted to see them and then fight them or run away from them, whatever we need to do. And Helena is filthy and sweaty and has this big salve on her shoulder.
She's having a time, but I think she is weirdly enjoying this too. This is wild. This is nuts what she's doing. She just chopped the stinger off of a wasp, and the stinger was the size of her arm. And imagine she's like, maybe like collecting some bits that we might be able to trade or just give something nice to people. If we run into people and they're like, why is there a human on my planet? I come bearing gifts, monster parts.
Yes. And I think that might be the everything goes right except one thing, is that we just keep going. And Ram's like, just keep going this direction. There has to be a settlement. And then they find us. It's like 1 minute we're alone in the forest. And then they're so camouflaged and they step out and we are ringed by... They look much more vibrant than Ram. Their tattoos are more colorful and their hair is very intricate and their armor is all insect parts and wood and thorn spikes, and they look so cool. And they all look like Ram.
Ram just hears this yelp behind her, and that's when you realize that we have been surrounded as Helena. Just immediate panic response to, oh, there's people there.
And they are definitely pointing weapons, but they're pointing them at Helena. They're not pointing them at Ram. And Ram puts her hands out, gestures to Helena, and it's just like, sisters, I am returning on sacred mission. She says a long string of words in her language that you catch the name Mar, and you catch what sound like location names. This is her family lineage, basically. It's not her proper name, it's Mar's proper name. They
Helena's
kind of
just
lower
standing
their
there,
weapons.
hands like
Yeah.
very clearly not holding anything. Eyes darting between the different people. Trusts you. This is still a weird situation.
Yes, and one of the women, who is much larger than the rest of them, slams her spear down and gives like a hurrah, and everyone gives a hurrah, and then it's like you're home, and they just come forward and they're like patting Ram on the arms and all this stuff. They are not engaging with Helena though.
She's fine. She is just continuing to casually hold on to the back of Ram's flight suit so she does not lose Ram.
Yes, I think the thing that has gone wrong is this is not where Mar and Ram's family is. They're kind of on the wrong side of the planet.
Mm.
And maybe Ram did that on purpose, but they're all related. They're all sisters, but this is not where her family is headquartered, her direct family. And there's a lot of talking. You hear more long, different names being exchanged. They do. Gosh, I don't want them to call you human. I'm not sure what they would call you. Not client. What
I
would
think
someone? What would
just
you call offworlder? Meet girl.
I think just as the lots of conversations are going on, Helena's just like, maybe I'm your charge.
Charge. There we go.
Yeah, I just kind of like slowly like pull out some of the monster bits that we collected along the way and present them to whoever looks like they're going to take.
Yes. So Ram doesn't know these women personally, but we're talking, and it takes a while because this is a rare language, because you don't really see Katazu in groups off of their planet. They're usually just one of them working for someone, and it takes a while for your translator to kind of get through the language, but you start picking up that Ram is now gassing you up, talking about how you fought the Venus flytrap plant and you fought the dire wasp, and how brave you were and how you refused to let Ram come alone, and such a good charge and captain you are to come with your guard for this mission.
I think around then is when I start like presenting the parts and say, I learned everything I know about fighting and being a warrior from her. As I hand the parts out, and I think that might be when you realize, like, oh yeah, she's a translator that has actually heard some of this language before.
Yes, yes, she has. It's working. It's whirring. It's working overtime, but it's working. And again, like how the group just kind of snuck up on us. One moment we're in this very toxic, dangerous jungle, and then it opens up and it's a city, a very beautiful, modern looking city, and everything's made out of organic materials and wood and chitin and fungus. And it is beautiful and it's very pretty, and the lights are all flowers, and the children peek out, and they are very small, little, stout children. And you just see people going about their lives. And we're taken to a very large hall. And you remember Ram mentioning having to go to a hall to speak to her grandmothers. We enter this building that's the inside of a tree, and it takes you a moment to realize the structures inside the building are not structures, they are also people. And we are brought before the grandmothers, who are massive, massive humanoid figures, but they've like grown into the building.
Yeah, Helena's just wide eyes. I picture she has like this tiny, cheap little like video recorder thing, getting a lay of like what things look like for Daxton. A lot of it has been just the shakiest of shaky cams. She's gathering limited visual data with no locational data. She very specifically picked something that would just record video, and if anyone has an issue with it, that's fine, she'll destroy it.
Yes. You've kind of noticed, making your way through the city, most of the adults look like Ram, and the children are like bright, bright green. And they kind of get darker in color. And then you did notice some much larger, darker green, kind of more elderly looking women. And then you kind of put together this is the final stage of their life cycle where they settle and they meld with the surrounding trees and they become trees themselves. It's very solemn. But you get the feeling that these three very large old women are kind of maybe a little amused at you, Helena.
She's just internally, yes, they're not hostile.
They're not hostile. And Ram is brought before them. Ram gives her name, and you're definitely noticing the name words in Ram's names do not match this village. That the names she's getting back. She kneels before the grandmothers and explains that her sister Mar is in a very honorable position of defense, but that she could not leave her charge. It was too dangerous. And I unwrap the bundle to show them the flowers, and they're glowing faintly in the dimness of the hall. Can my nieces be planted in your fields, and my family be alerted? I know it is a long travel, but we cannot make it.
I think the grandmothers are just watching you and say, this was a difficult place to get to, as is any other village. Why did you not choose to return home?
Because my position is less honorable. And I do not deserve to return home. My mission is not complete.
Allow us to consider this. You see, since the grandmothers are unable to move, there are elders who stay nearby, or maybe younger ones who stay nearby to basically be their hands and feet as needed.
Yes, attendants.
Yeah, one of them steps up to Helena, who just kind of glances over and looking between you and this Karazu. Is it good to go with? You would understand that this person wants to speak with Helena.
Oh, okay.
To learn about the full story of your position.
Yeah, Ram nods. Because Ram never mentioned that they weren't going to her home village or something like that. Or is this too complicated and we should just make it her home village?
They're basically just going to sort of vibe check Helena, if you would like to be the NPC in that conversation.
Her name is Sel. And it's so weird because she looks like Ram, but she is a Ram much more vibrant who has already done this. A bit taller than Ram is, so you get this is a older-ish woman. And she's just like, off-worlder charge of Sister Ram. What is your name?
Helena. And I came to help Ram because she's helped me and saved my life more times than I can count. So when she asked for help, how could I say no?
This is always job of Karazu warrior, to protect, to defend. This is expected. Why has she brought you here instead of going to her home city?
We're in the middle of something that very well has an impact on the rest of the universe. Our time window is short, but this needed to be completed.
You take time out of sensitive mission to help your warrior. Interesting.
Of course. I can't do this without her.
She says that she cannot return to her home city, her home village, her family, which she should. What of your mission has been dishonorable?
The dishonor's not on her. I'm the one who made the mistake. And I'm the one who's going to fix it. And she agreed to help me. And I would not have had the courage to be the kind of person to try this again had she not been part of my life as long as she has. She taught me honor. She taught me strength. She taught me how to stand for what's right. I may not have come from an honorable background, but the fact that I'm good enough to at least do this is because of her.
This is acceptable answer. We will tell the grandmothers this, and you will tell the grandmothers about this threat to the universe.
Of course. Helena did enough research to, like, find some way and found something on the ship that she can use to, like, communicate all that we know about the enemy, how they work, what to look for. We still don't know how they would interact with the kudzu specifically. I've laminated paper.
Yes.
I have just this thick stack of notes that have been, like, laminated. Yes. I've had this pack on my side, and the fact that it survives speaks volumes to the quality of the fabric it's made out of.
Yes.
So I just kind of, like, open it, and I've, like, got this, like, thick bundles of carefully laminated paper, and there's, like, it's very well organized. This is what I do instead of sleeping sometimes, because nightmares.
Yes. And I think the grandmothers, they're very slow in their ways, and it takes them a while to deliberate, and I think you get an evening in the city, and Ram is very withdrawn at this point, but you get to eat a very good dinner, and they're kind of keeping you from really going into too many places. They're very much keeping an eye on you.
That's fair. Helena is not bothered by this at all, and she's basically just kind of, like, pestering around, like, ooh, what's that? What's that? What's over here?
What's this? What's that? Yeah, and I think after Cell had that conversation with you, she pulls out what looks like literally like a radio compact, like it's round, and she says something to it in their language and clicks it, and it's actually a very large ladybug, and it flies away very quickly.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's later in the evening. We've been giving lodgings. We've been fed. We're just waiting on the grandmother's liberation.
Helena's trying her best to keep you distracted.
Yes. And you hear what very much sounds like the whirring of a helicopter. Almost exactly like the whirring of a helicopter. And then we go out into the little clearing outside of where we're staying. And down, it's a very large dragonfly. Just woof, 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 woof. And it lands, and the whoosh, just the whoosh of its wings, and a figure jumps off and strides up and pulls her hood off, and it looks like Ram, as they all do. And she walks up and just socks Ram in the face, just with like a fist, like a cinder block, just socks Ram in the face, and Ram takes it, and then she grabs Ram in the biggest hug and starts lovingly yelling at her in their language. And over her shoulder, after they kind of break apart, Ram's like, Helena, this is my other sister, Lar. She was on patrol in the area. We were very lucky that she was this close.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
And Lar kind of like gets Ram in a headlock and is like, what are you doing here? Why is... Mar is flowering. Oh, she's always doing so well. Let me tell you about Mar. And Lar just, like, goes off. And Lar is nothing like Mar, nothing like Ram. Lar is a huge personality and is just, like, telling horribly embarrassing childhood stories about how much of a troublemaker Mar was. And now she's doing so good. Of course, she's so important that she can't leave her planet. And it's great. It's pretty great.
I think Helena will chime in with... So I've passed this information along to the grandmothers, but there is quite a situation brewing outside, so...
Situation. I love a situation. Lar does love a situation.
Oh well. Ram saved my life in a number of interesting situations.
Of course she did!
Just immediately start, like, rapid fire firing off, like, the top, like, hits.
And that's how we spend the evening. And I think the next morning, we're called back before the grandmothers. And it's basically, the situation is really, really, the mother should come herself if she is flowering. And she should bring herself home. Basically, she should already be home. She should have already completed her mission. She should be home and settled before she even started flowering, so it's very unorthodox what is happening here. And there was a lot of discussion about what to do. And are the flowers, have they been poisoned by being off of the planet? Like, is this safe? Like, is this honorable because the mother's not here to plant them herself? Like, it's a lot of that. But I think with Lar having shown up, there's a lot of discussion, and I think the grandmothers are like, we will allow Lar to take the flowers to be planted in their home village. We won't destroy them. Ram and Mar will not be dishonored by this. And the daughters and nieces born from this will be Mar's children when she comes back.
Helena was prepared to like step in and argue a little bit on Mar's behalf, but any hint that Ram was going to be dishonored for any of this, Helena would have gone in swinging, just like immediately turn on the charm. You don't even think about it.
Yes. With that, it wraps up very, very quickly. Lar gives you a hearty smack on your good shoulder, hugs Ram.
When you come back, your task will be completed. It will be honorable, and we will celebrate, and we will have nieces. It will be good.
Jumps back on her dragonfly and flies away, and is gone immediately, like as soon as the deliberation is done.
How do you feel?
Oh, I did not think I would see any of my sisters. I did not think they would. I did not know how this would work out. This is not how things are done. Usually I am very grateful to the grandmother's consideration.
You did a good thing. As you always do. Pat on like the middle of your back, because I'm not sure if I can quite reach your shoulder, because I think you're sitting on my like injured side.
Yes. We do get an escort back to our dropship.
So it's much easier to fight all of the horrible jungle creatures that attack us on the way back.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the women, this is nothing. This is a Tuesday for them. Like, this is an average trek. Like, this is walking to the grocery store. This is nothing.
Yeah. I'm sitting here like, because like the second diamonds, I get to ask the question and it's, I leave behind something valuable and irreplaceable. What is it? I think I lose half of my cane. I still have part of it. It cannot turn into the full cane. I have at most like the dagger that would come out of the sheath.
It's a dagger. Yes, I think a very gnarly armored gecko snaps it up with its tongue and just snaps it in half like it's nothing, even though it's like Durasteel reinforced.
That is going to be incredibly difficult to replace. I mean, technically it's possible, but it's very, very, very expensive, and to do so, I would be painting a very big neon, "I'm right here, come kill me."
Yes.
To everyone who might want to kill me within like a 5-block radius, and they would be there in seconds. It would be an incredibly bad idea, and it's not really possible to break in and steal, but I'm like, we might be able to kind of hodgepodge something, but the efficiency of that weapon is diminished. And I think it actually, when I lost it, I might have lost it when I was defending you.
Yes.
I dropped one of them, and I just tried to cover it, thinking maybe it'll be there when we get back. They get back on the show. Like, crap.
Yeah.
So the mission is complete.
What was the highest card we got?
It was an 8. The mission is a complicated success. We achieve our main goal, but what goes wrong?
I think it's more that things are left uncertain because this was not Mar settled in a village, flowering naturally, to, follow all the steps, to pollinate the gourds, to plant them to become children. These flowers have been off-world for a while, and maybe they won't pollinate, or maybe we didn't get there in time. Ram and Lar didn't say it, but that was always a probability, like that it might not work, or it might not work well, and we're not sure. And there's also these are not Ram's grandmothers. These are just some capital G grandmothers. Like, there may be ramifications if ramifications, if Ram ever comes back to her home city. Like, there's a lot of, we don't know how this will play out, but we have to leave. We can't stay.
Yeah, we have business to attend to. There is also the fact that there are now people outside of the ship who know Helena Vale is still alive.
Yeah. So we did what we needed to do, but if it will work, that's for the future. We won't be here to see how that plays out.
Probably not, unless things go really, really well, and then it's who knows. And if this goes poorly, are you going to be left holding the bag?
Yes, because this really only happens once in a warrior woman's life. Oh, that would be bad.
Yeah, because I feel like Mara could shift the blame onto you if she wanted to.
Yeah.
But as we get back to the ship and return back to our business and probably have to go pick up some replacements for things that did not take super kindly to the
planet
of the atmosphere. So it's you and me, Captain. So you choose, and then I'll answer.
Ram seems a bit more serious after we get back. The stakes were always real, like completing the mission and eventually going home. That's always the end goal to any Katazu woman off the planet. Like, that's always what's supposed to happen. But now she's like, oh, I've been home and it's beautiful and I miss it and I miss my family. So this is a real, tangible goal now. It's not metaphorical goal. Like, this is something I do want very badly. So we do have to succeed.
I think also after this trip, Helena actually has a much better understanding of what you are trying to regain, what you are fighting for, and the fact like you now have nieces. This world is beautiful, and she, I think at one point, just says, I promise you will return home with all the glory and honor you deserve. And I made the same promise to your sister when I saw her.
Thank you, Captain. And I also, my very large hands, I again also reach out to your good shoulder and I'm like, we will make it so.
Let's go save the universe. Just loud sneeze on the other side of the
Sneezing! We'll have to make a note, get Ian to do some Foley work. We'll get some sneezes.
I can find sneeze effects somewhere, and it's just like
sound effects.
I feel like on our first step, we do have to kind of like do a purifying of the air on the ship to get all the allergens out, and the person doing it is just giving us the biggest side eye of what did you do to your ship?
Oh no, like we get back and Daxton like leans back from the navigation port and is like, did you guys have fun? Captain, was it fun? And you just have this like 1,000-yard stare.
It was certainly interesting. I just like tossed Daxton the little video thing.
Ram follows behind,
and
drops the giant bug stinger.
And now we have one less thing to do. Yep. Right or left?
Left. No! Oh no!
It's red. The enemy grows. Oh,
no,
crap!
They're both red! Oh no! Uh-oh.
Okay, so we both describe a brief glimpse of the enemy and how they become more terrifying.
No. I think definitely rewinding. I feel like it's something to do with the bureaucrat space princess, and it's one of those just tiny nanite cameras watching. It's just replaying anything for an old friend, and then the camera pans out and it's kind of got this person and it's branching out to people she knows, lighting them up and then Xing them out and lighting them up, and one of the tendrils goes and lights up to Helena Vale, deceased, but it doesn't get X'd out.
Oh goody, the enemy now knows specifically me. Awesome!
They still think you're dead, but you are on the board.
Yeah, they're aware. I did kind of shut down a large portion of their brain, which is slowly coming back online, but I think like they're starting to realize it's one of them. Like it's someone connected to this person.
Someone in this circle.
And I think you remember how we have that little danger puddle on the ship that's been in hiding?
Yeah.
I think it's a little smaller than we leave because I think some of it went down on the shuttle.
Oh no. And we see it scuttling onto the planet.
We just see this little pile of danger goo. Tiny little nanite swarm. I'm thinking like, so it had gotten to be the size of a quarter. This is like the size of a dime. It's a tiny little swarm, and it's going to have to work really hard to get to anybody. It's going to have an interesting time.
But it is there. Oh no.
But it's there. And the enemy is really good at adapting.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yay.
Woo!
Woo! We did it!
That went so well! The cards have a story to tell.
Oh,
It's
I'm
panic.
so emotional. Oh, it's panic.